Marriage questions that you secretly ask, and what do they mean?
Dirty texts, dick pics, and boiling over.
Stop using boundaries, guys.
You have an apology problem. You are holding yourself back.
What you can do or what to do when you're not having sex.
You've never seen us in action?
There is always something that you need to do better.
Marriage questions that you secretly ask, and what do they mean? Welcome to the Morrow Marriage Podcast, guys, where we keep it real. We have nothing that is off limits here. And today I want to dive into fan mail. And why I'm calling it the episode of what they secretly mean is simple. The amount of times we get from you guys, whether it's the podcast comments, whether it's comments on social media, on our app, in our coaching programs, one-on-one calls, the husbands and wives we both speak to, we just got off the phone with one right now. It's unbelievable what you guys are saying and what you actually mean. And I think it's really, really valuable to break some of these things down. So let's dive right into it. The very first comment I want to address is, hi, great podcast. I think from Chicago. Listen, thank you. Guys, we can't do this without you. We appreciate the shares, the likes, and I can't believe how overwhelmed we are with the crazy amount of people joining our programs right now. We are just on fire. I think we've doubled in size in the last 2 months. It's unreal. So thank you, guys. Now, let's dive into some of your questions. My husband thinks porn is fine, and despite getting married in the church, doesn't see anything wrong with it. What can I do? Guys, porn is not fine. If you believe that porn is fine, which you are open to your own ideas.
But you're wrong.
But you're wrong. Here's the thing. If you open the door to anything, I don't care if it's porn, if you can't handle your emotions and you're drinking, I can give you 1,000 examples. If you bring bad shit or shit that can be misconstrued bad, causing negative feelings and a lack of control with those feelings, you are causing real problems. So the question here is, what can I do? You can't support it. You have to stand firm in what you believe. And quite often, values will have changed. Maybe you guys talked about porn and it's okay, I'm gonna take care of you and all this sort of stuff. You're way past that shit. So what does it really mean? It means that you have to start getting aligned with who you are and what you believe. And now that's gonna have to dive deeper than just the porn. Is there a reason that your partner is using the porn? Is there a reason they're justifying using the porn? Okay? There's so much more that is at stake here, because those broken layers of the foundation are exactly why you'd address a symptom as an issue. Porn is not the issue. Porn is a symptom of disconnection and a need not being met, potentially. It's just one idea, okay? You're gonna have to want to go much, much deeper and focus on your connection, because if I want Kathryn or she wants me to understand that something just doesn't work for her or me, okay, we need to be connected to make that happen, or else compromise feels forced. If compromise is forced, it's not a compromise, it's settling.
Sacrifice.
And it's
an unhealthy sacrifice if it's not understood on both sides.
Exactly what I was gonna say. The moment you start settling, you're now sacrificing, guys. And if you can't wrap your head around this, then you're gonna constantly look for every issue, from porn to the toothpaste lid to whatever the bullshit is. Those are symptoms. What can you do? Start focusing on issues. Why is there a disconnect? Why is porn more exciting? Why is porn something he needs and justifies? Why doesn't he believe that porn is dangerous with human trafficking the way it is today? There's a lot more to discuss, and those are the real issues, okay?
And then once you figure out what the issue is, then you can actually talk about the issue, not the porn. Do you guys understand that? Is that hitting home for you? Because yes, porn is a problem. Porn is the issue. And I also believe that sacrifice can be healthy. We all talk about sacrificial love. You sacrifice for your husband, you sacrifice for your children, but it should be satisfactory sacrifice. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't feel like something is being taken from you. It should feel like you are giving.
You want to, you like to, desire to give.
That's right. Yeah. So having something taken from you is different than you giving something. And sacrifice is about you giving and not making you feel less, but making your partner feel more. Mm-hmm. So sacrifice is still okay, but it has to be healthy sacrifice. So figure out what the underlying issue is, and it might not have anything to do with you. If your husband's watching porn, he might say it has nothing to do with you. Maybe you are having sex. Maybe the sex is exciting. He's still watching porn. Well, that's still an issue, because if your husband has an issue, do you know what? That means that you have an issue too.
Correct.
If you have an issue, it might have nothing to do with your husband. Maybe you have an issue with a different addiction or social media. I don't even know what your issues are, but if it's your issue, then it's your husband's issue too, because you are one.
That's right.
And then you address the root not the symptom.
That's right. And what you're going to find with a lot of these questions is it's really about that. It's the connection. It's the you are one. It's what are the actual issues and how can we actually attack them? Because when you're going off on a tangent, that's why it's what they secretly mean. You are literally going off in the wrong tangents, trying to address something that is not the problem. Okay.
Correct.
How do you manage blending families when you're not married yet? Structure for where you want to go. Do you want to be married? We have this belief. Like, we have an exchange student right now from Germany. She's our daughter. That's it. She showed up. She's our daughter. Okay. So if you guys are blending families, I don't know about you, but far too many people men that come to my program, there's these rules. You're not the parent, so you can't. What in the actual fuck are you talking about? You two come first no matter what. You two are starting over, for fuck's sakes. If you're starting over, you fucked up already. And now you're fucking up your children more by saying, oh, no. You can be like a caregiver, but you
can't be mom.
Yeah, you can't be mom. You can't be dad. What in the actual shit?
You know what? The exchange student is such a great example because we had an incident this morning and we had to get the police involved. Our exchange student is fine. Everyone is fine, but something bad happened. And so I contacted her mother.
Right.
And I was like, did she talk to you? I want to make sure that you know what's going on. And I was just a two-way street with the mother. And the mother was so thankful. She said, I feel so safe with you and your husband. I so appreciate how well you're taking care of her.
Well, hold up. You should
and
give a
she's
little
not
bit of that.
parent.
Just give a little bit of the story, I think. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so someone approached our teenage daughter
yeah.
at her bus stop this morning. And it was a man. He was alone.
You're really pretty, and then questions.
All kinds of questions, and it caught her off guard, and she gave a bunch of information. So we ended up having to get the police involved. Okay. So anyway, this other parent, who's her biological mother, has basically lent us a daughter for 10 months. And when I told her what happened, I wanted to make sure that they spoke. And she said, I'm so thankful. She's treating us like parents. I said, we're treating her like our daughter. And she said, thank you so much for taking care of her. She trusts us completely. Why is it that it's so easy to trust a stranger with your children? Think about exchange students. But then you don't want to let your wife
or your husband
parent your biological child. I love the example that you gave. Ever since, so you know that Cass has another child from before, right? Ever since we got together, he has given me full reign to parent this child. Now, this child doesn't live with us, and so it's not even the same relationship that we have with our exchange child who lives with us. But I've always felt like I could parent. He's not coming in and correcting my parenting any more than he would with our own children.
That's right.
So whether you're married or not, I think that's not the question. Blending families, like Cass said, the structure for where you create the structure for where you want that relationship to go. If you want your wife to be the mother of her non-biological child,
or vice versa.
Yes. Allow her to make those decisions and be mom. Allow him to be dad, married or not.
So what she's saying, what this question secretly means is you're confused because you have two lives. But if you're blending those two lives, start thinking about, why are we not blending? Why are we not coexisting, cohabitating, and actually co-loving on a whole larger scale? I think it's not ideal, but it's a blessing that you could bring two families together. I mean, you got double the fun. Literally. So just go make the best of what you've got, okay?
But it's about how you treat each other as husband and wife, because the children are below that.
And by the way, they need a much better example of
Yes.
how you treat each other now, because you showed them how to fuck up already.
Yeah, they
you
both
showed them
have
how to quit. You showed them that dreams aren't possible. You showed them that fairy tales aren't real. So don't repeat your mistakes, okay? Marriage, this is similar. Marriage is being ruined from children. It's just a comment, and I don't know, maybe they wanted to put a question mark there. No, marriages aren't ruined by children. The problem is people inherently let life get in the way, i.e. children is one of those things, and there's a disconnect between husband and wife. If you guys can't wrap your heads around on this podcast that no matter what, Kathryn and I come first, meaning you want what we have, so you listen. You appreciate the truth, so you listen. And then the moment we might say something very controversial, like, no, kids are second. You're gonna pull your arms up in the air and wave them around and go, no, I like that, but not that. Then you can't have what we have. Here's the thing, marriage is not ruined by children.
Cass does joke all the time. So if you've heard him say that, marriages are ruined by children.
Yeah.
He says it as a joke.
100% it's a joke, you guys. Okay, I don't actually, now I don't believe I was built to be a father. I'm learning every day, like many people. Mothers too, okay? Mothers are just naturally able to just sort of figure this out easier, I believe. But none of that is something you have to agree with. Regardless, the point is that Okay, so you're gonna have to. We haven't been on a date since we moved, and we were building our podcast, which the 1960 Airstream's not done yet.
I'm dying.
There's a
without
bunch
dating.
of bullshit that's gone on. We had to go to Arizona. We came back. So we haven't been on a date. Tomorrow will be the first date. 2 days from now will be the first date we've had
in a year.
I think maybe 6 weeks. Let's say. Okay, That is a long time for us. It doesn't mean we haven't talked. Mini dates, home dates, hanging out, family dates, all that jazz. But for us, that is a long stretch, and we can feel the disconnect. Okay, so what happens when you have children? Well, it makes it more difficult. On the flip side, though, most of you would use the example of children ruining your sex life. It's hard. The kids are here. We're like, when do we find time? I'm exhausted from being up all night. Listen, what do? We have quiet time. Kids watch a Bible story. They think we're getting cleaned up.
They think we're having a shower.
Yeah, and that's what we're going with right now. You've heard before, business meetings. So what does this really mean? It means that you don't know how to prioritize yourselves as a couple first. And that for some reason, and probably if it's her, she's leaning on the kids because the kids make her feel whole. The love triangle Kathryn talks about, the fact that the kids are safe for her, even though they're emotional roller coasters, at least they ain't shitting on her. It's just their children shitting on her. It's totally different than a grown person doing that, So what does it really mean? You've got to focus on the two of you and the direction you're going, both of you. And if it's only one, well, one of you is leaning on the kids, or one of you believes more or differently for the kids, and you're gonna have to provide structure for, yeah, baby, I can see what you're saying. Anyways, Friday night, let's get out and organize the sitter or whatever, okay?
I'd love to touch on the piece that you said about men. You specifically said you weren't meant, built to be a dad, but you're learning, and so are a lot of other men, and so are some women. I do believe that more women were built for it. We actually were built to carry them. So there is a difference between men and women. So gentlemen, if you're having a hard time trying to make yourself be this super dad and you're having a hard time, just remember that you weren't necessarily built with all the skills, but you were created to do it. Now, on that same note, women, we are pretty much born wanting to have children. So ideally and theoretically, I guess, having children should make your life better. Why? Because most women, a lot of women, I shouldn't say most, will feel very unfulfilled if they don't have children. It's something that is ingrained into a lot of us since we were literally born. That's why we have little baby dolls. So if you can, as men, embrace the fact that having children does make your wife happier, does make your girlfriend, your woman happier, and gives you more of a wholeness. If you can embrace that and be connected to your wife, Cass is very connected to me. So even though he has a harder time with the kids, I have a hard time with the kids too. They're kids. You should have a hard time with them. They push all your buttons. But if he can embrace the fact that it brings me so much joy to have children. Like, I love those kids so fucking much. And then I have to be intentional about making sure, because naturally women are going to gravitate towards their kids, again, because they're not, his words, they're not shitting on me. They're not causing chaos aside from children chaos. It's not marriage chaos, right? So women, you need to make sure that you take your attention from your kids, not all of it, but put it on your husband. Prioritize your husband so that he knows that he's still number one. Even if he's the one that's shitting on you, he will shit on you less if he feels more prioritized. If you love him the way that he needs to be loved, you need to love everybody. Doesn't have to be equal, but you have to love everybody. And if you guys can embrace just the role that each of you has, kids don't ruin marriage. Or yeah, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
You ruin marriage by prioritizing your kids more, or by maybe shitting on your wife for how much she loves the kids. Connect about the kids and be realistic about the love that you have for them. And don't think it's supposed to be equal, because it's not.
And then learning to balance, prioritize, understand the love is different.
Yes.
The love is different. Kathryn will always let the kids know, I love Du Amor, but it's different. I love you just as much. It's different.
Different.
Okay, and she'll explain it, okay? Whole nother episode.
Yeah.
All right, guys, how much is individual coaching with y'all? Guys, all I can say is this, really short. Man, we have created so many different types of options and plans, because we've just, like I said on the beginning, we've like doubled or almost even tripled in size in the last few months. So you just got to go through our website and apply. We've got to make sure we can help you, okay? I just saw a great one about, I'm supposed to accept that the cheating is my fault. How am I supposed to understand this in your podcast?
Good question.
Now, this came from, there's more to it, but basically husbands cheated a number of times, okay? And it does tie to another one, which was really, it was actually sort of filtered into the same thing. Listen, I'm gonna always say cheating is your fault, okay? Unless one thing. Unless they did it from the beginning. Okay, if they did it from the beginning, it's more than likely characterological, habit problems, and different kind of issues, and we don't have time for that.
Still your fault.
What does it really mean? It means that there are things that you need to address because no one's cheating on fucking awesome. Let's get real. No one's divorcing them. No one's kicking them in the balls or the vagina. No one is fucking calling you names if you're fucking awesome. You guys got to get over your high and mighty horse. Now, is it actually your fault? What does it really mean? Well, it's not really your fault. Of course, somebody has a choice when they decide to break the covenant. Whether that is in the bedroom, backseat of a car, or whether that's words over a DM or whatever version, okay? They have a choice. But what we want you to understand when the question comes in of what do I do with that information? My husband, I think it was 6. The one example was 6 times cheated over the years, maybe 10. Listen, number one, you've obviously enabled the behavior to be okay. And that doesn't mean just up and leave now to prove your point. It means you've got to make some corrective behaviors and start structuring something different. You're clearly disconnected. There are things that you must take responsibility for, and then we can address the morals. The example, my favorite, I love to use all the time, and I teach in my course, the Marriage Reset, is simple. If your spouse cheated, okay, that's like you and her, you're driving. You run a red light. Okay, you did some shit wrong. Your spouse hits you, wasted, drunk, T-boned you, you fucking die. Their morals are more in question. You were just driving, weren't paying attention, they were wasted, they're clearly with a moral dilemma much higher. Who fucking cares? You're dead. Okay? So if you don't address problem 1, you can't address problem 2. What do you do with it? Address you guys. Address you. Nobody's fucking like walking from somebody crazy amazing. Now, if you started with somebody who just hurt you from the beginning, listen, look at our story. You're following us for fuck's sakes. I hurt her from 30 days in. Okay? It was about that. Not even the 30-day mark, I don't think. We weren't even married yet when we had our first fight.
We had our first fight, but I would say about 6 weeks. Just
when it started to really get...
When I really saw the real...
Yeah. Guys, if you're following our story, then don't be a fucking hypocrite. Okay? Literally. So even if you made a mistake and, I would say, you're an idiot. Well, Kathryn's an idiot. Hey, look where we are. Okay? There's a possibility for a lot more is what I'm trying to say. You're met with silence and there's no sex for over a year now. Well, that's the answer to your question right there. If you're not talking, unless somebody's just horny and wants to use you, you're not going to have sex. And since most people, and women, I want you to hear this, men that start with a very first initial coaching call, free, they've never paid me, they're just on my app, we get through it every single time. It's unanimous every single time. Doesn't matter if there's 7 people or if there's 54 people on that call. Does anybody here want more than just sex with their wife? And everybody's hand comes up. Cuddles, kiss, conversation, dreams, security, knowing she's not leaving, this and that. So listen, if you're not having sex and you're saying there's met with silence when we're trying to get intimate, that's your answer. Well,
there's
guys,
something in between silence and intimacy. If you're watching on YouTube, there's like a space. Silence is at the bottom, intimacy is at the top. What is in the middle? You can't just think that because you're met with silence that... I don't know how I was going to say that actually. Does that make sense? So silence down here, intimacy up here. What are the connection pieces that you're missing? You just answered your own question.
Lots about the kids this time. How do I help my husband feel connected to me when I'm at work and busy and not able to text or call him? He feels lonely or like I prioritize work, but a struggle to see this. Hey, you know what I want to reflect here real quick is this is from a woman, and normally this would be a question from a man. I'm going to tell you both the exact same thing. Are you fucking kidding me? You don't have a fucking minute to text, send a voice note with love in your tone, a video? You're a fucking idiot. Lie to yourself and lie to your spouse some more, but you ain't lying to me, okay? You don't have a second when you go pee, when you grab some water, grab something to eat, when you just take a second to think and they're not on your mind and you can't text. Guys, you can't fool us.
Also, though, this reeks of insecurity. If you can't go 8 hours and you know your husband or your wife is balls to the wall working, and you want to be a priority when your husband needs to go pee, he needs to pee. He doesn't need to stop and text you. I think you said this is from a woman. He just needs to pee. Maybe he has a certain amount of time. Maybe he smokes and he has to have a cigarette and a pee. And you want to push yourself into that top priority when he's at work, providing for the family. This reeks of insecurity. So yes, he's right. If your husband or your wife needs something and you're at work and they're feeling insecure, you have an opportunity and a responsibility to help them not feel insecure so that they can feel stable and secure in the relationship. Everybody's got 10 seconds. And maybe that is when you're in crisis. If you're listening to our podcast, you probably are. If you're in crisis, while you pee, you have to figure out a way to multitask. Use hand sanitizer, okay? Otherwise, fucking grow up.
Honestly.
You can't expect your wife, if she has to pee, you know what? It's a lot more difficult for a woman to go to the bathroom, I think, than it is a man. A man can just whip it out and pee anywhere. I have a little boy and a husband. I get it. As a woman, maybe you have to wear a dress to work. You have buttons. You have all these things. Let your wife pee at work. She's at work trying to provide for the family. If she has kids at home, she probably fucking hates being at work.
It just
there's so much here.
It's not even about peeing. There is a million opportunities, and if you don't believe me, I want you to write down everything you do. No. You're going to hate this exercise.
There are a million opportunities.
But just literally write down everything you do all day. Some of you need to do that anyway, so you can learn to maximize your time and get shit done and actually make money, for fuck's sakes. But honestly, write it down. You'll literally see 400 opportunities. To say that you don't have time because I'm XYZ, you don't care about your partner and you're only caring about yourself. Probably what it secretly means is this. They don't give me what I need, so I feel like I've got to focus on this, and so I don't want to. Say, I don't want.
Or your husband is so insecure and needy that you don't want to because of the way that your husband is treating you. In which case, husband, grow up.
Yeah,
Get secure in yourself because you're driving your wife away. Both examples, this is two different perspectives, right? She definitely has time. She has 10 seconds.
Let's tie it to this real quick.
Go ahead.
Am I wrong to feel neglected? And it's tough. And this is a person who sent 4 different messages, and there's obviously a long distance thing and all this stuff. Back to insecurity. She said grow up and get secure. Guys, I understand that takes work. They also asked, have I ever gone through things like that? Fuck yeah. And constantly I talk with the woman we just got off the phone with. I've spent hours on the phone with her saying, but don't you want to feel like you don't have to worry? I promise you it's worth whatever the work is that you go through to do it. And with us, it's a lot, depending on how insecure you are. But you do need to grow up because that is not a way to live. For yourself, forget your spouse. But how dare you? Anybody with insecurity, anxiety, depression, feeling neglected, whatever it is that you're going through, if you don't have a standard to love yourself, all of you don't do what I don't even have to know you. You don't do the things that make you happy. You depend on your partner to fill your cup, meaning if they're happy, you're happy. You constantly decide, if I just say yes, or if I fawn, or if I people please, if I do whatever, then I'll stop having a fight or an argument. Maybe we'll have sex later, whatever it is. I don't have to know you to know I'm talking about you with any of these emotions. And if that's the case, you A, don't know yourself, you lost your identity. B, you're holding your partner to a standard of love, but you don't even love yourself. That's impossible if you don't know who you are. Interesting. What does it secretly mean? All of these emotions that you actually have to tackle are your own demons. All right. You have any more on that?
I just thought of one thing. So this woman who's asking, how can I make my husband feel secure when I'm at work? Husband, if you're listening to this, if you send her 5 pages of messages and all she has is 5 minutes on her break to have a quick snack and text you back, she might not even have time to read what you wrote if you're sending. And we know that this happens. You used to be the one to send books of messages.
Books, novels,
so at that
miles of text.
Miles. So if you're doing that, she also isn't going to have the opportunity to help you feel secure because she has to read your bullshit. And now maybe, seriously, and she could be, this is her question. Like I said, this reeks of insecurity. This could be her fawning. How do I keep my husband happy? Because I don't want him to send me 5,000 messages during the day. I just want to get my work done undistracted. It's been proven that when your relationship is more healthy, you are less distracted and you are more successful and you make more progress in everything that you do. So if that's the case, and I'm just kind of giving a little bit of what we've done in our coaching and also what we've been through, but she won't be able to actually genuinely show you love and care if she has to read 5,000 miles of messages from you. And then she's going to be like, okay, I love you, baby. I'll see you after work. That's all she has time for.
100%. All right, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do part 2 next, guys. Okay, so hi, Cass and Kathryn. Do you have any episodes on when the wife is stuck in the provider role? So I want to take this opportunity first to remind you guys, you've got to just go through the podcast. Don't pick and choose. You literally need it all. How do we know? Because we've helped almost 6,000 people in 3 years. Okay?
It's a lot of
you
people.
must go through it all. Will it all pertain to you? You're going to grab a nugget every time. Now, next thing, provider role from the woman. You know, that happens. And, you know, I'm not sure what you're looking for, but it's the exact opposite, or flip rather, of what we talk about when we're talking about providers.
I would say this
for
is
men.
probably a woman asking this.
This is, yeah. I mean, I would think, but they're here in Texas. Welcome.
Welcome.
But I'm presuming this is from a woman, like, you know, you're looking for tips how to handle it. You've got to take.
How do I get my husband to lead is probably what she's asking.
Yeah. So
see, secretly, what people ask and what they're secretly actually asking.
Yeah, so
how do I get my husband to be in the provider role?
Women who work and make mad money, or just work hard, and again, man or woman working hard, not making money, that's a problem. Address it, okay? But if you're working real hard, men, you need to realize your woman is not a type A control freak. What she needs is to be able to relax into her feminine later. Okay, when she gets home from running the corporation or being the bad provider, from all the stress, and then all of the things that we talk about with providers, it goes both ways. I don't care who's working. If you're single, you're still gonna have to take care of your home, your kids, your dates, your life, your connection, your responsibilities. Okay, so there's many episodes where we talk about things like this.
And it's not black and white. If I can just say, just because you're wife or you are the woman, right, and you're making the money. Cass teaches this in his program, The Marriage Reset, about being a provider. It's not about the money. So even if you are the woman and you are in that provider role and you're making the money, your husband still has to provide emotionally, spiritually, all of the things for your family. We can use us for an example. So I make a lot of the money in the business because he lined it all up for me. He sets it all up. He created the business. I just so happen to have a skill where I can make a lot of the money for the business. If he stops doing his job and if he stops supporting me in my role, everything crashes. So I might be bringing in a lot of the money, but he set that up for me and he gives me the platform to be able to do that. And he also leads our family. So because he built it all, gets to, I'm not going to say you get to relax because you don't. If he, like I said, if he stops working, there's different roles.
Diversify. Now I can focus on other things that do other things for, like, take care of you guys that can do whatever. Like
that lead. Right? So he's leading me so that I can enroll more of you in the program. And so it's not, so I wanted to give like the money example. It's not about the money. It's about who is he and how is he actually leading me into the future.
I would challenge that. I'd say both. We both have strengths. You know, a lot of people say, I can't work like with my spouse, and people advise against that. Horse shit. She is so good at fucking shit that I'm not, and vice versa, that it doesn't really matter. In fact, the roles that we specifically have, like our major roles to keep this engine running smoothly so we can help more of you at a faster rate, it actually, without either of us, it's actually chicken and egg. Which one is more important? Which one is more important?
You just don't want to lose either one of us, guys.
Yeah, we
but specifically, we can't lose him.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, but same. Don't listen to her. It's literally chicken and egg. Because if she stops operating, then it doesn't matter what I do. All right, I got to go learn her skills. Right? Okay. All right. Let's see you again for a part 2. All right. See you guys.
Bye.